welcome to the Author Spotlight. My name is Aurelia Wynn. I'm the owner and operator of Wynn Publications. And so welcome. Can you tell us your name, what you do, and where you're from?
I am JBliss, and I am an author of a variety of genres. I write inspirational, romance erotica, steamy romance, romance contemporary, and also children's literature. So my brain kind of goes around the world.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So wait, how did you do? You said all I heard was romance, children. Wait a minute.
Well, inspirational was the first
Inspirational,
thing
okay.
that I published. When I was in high school, I entered a variety of publishing contests for poetry. So it was just poetry is my first love of writing, and so from there, after I went through a depressive state, I started writing inspirational. And the inspirational book, actually, the first one that I wrote was called Determining Your Journey. And it really helped me. And so I was the audience. I was the person that was struggling in that depressive state that needed to get out. And so from there, I just, that was probably 2008 because I had my fourth child. And it was important for me to try to get back in gear and get to writing and face the fact that I didn't need a publisher to tell me that I could write. I'd gone through so much training for writing, but prior to going through the training, I always had a love for writing. So anyway, moving forward, I have inspirational, a lot in romance.
Yeah.
And children's literature. And looking forward for as the next year goes, for me to get into like the young adult, more so like the middle school students, because I have a graphic novel that's in process right now for the middle school students.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so I actually did a little bit of research on you since I had some time this morning. And what's so interesting is, so a couple of days ago, I was talking to a college student he's a self-publisher, and he goes to Troy University. And I read in your bio that you went to Troy. How cool. So I was like, oh wow, I wanted to bring that up. And tell me your major again. Was it journalism, or what did you do while you were?
For Troy, it was education, instructional technology. Okay. So bachelor's degree is in journalism. Okay. But by the time I pursued my first master's, it was to focus on designing curriculum for the school.
Oh wow.
I extended my educational knowledge at Troy, and I enjoyed the experience, especially with putting curriculum together. That was really cool.
Wow, really. Okay. Wow, nice. I might have to talk to you about some other stuff on the outside of this interview, because I'm working on a curriculum and I might need your help. And so I have no experience whatsoever, and I'm trying to put something together. So we'll see. Okay, interesting. Okay, well then tell us about your latest book then. Let's get to the juicy questions. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so the latest book, let's see. Let me tell you. Okay, so this is the latest book in the Chance series.
Okay.
And then after Breaking Dance it's another series, which is the Holiday Romance series. Because when I publish a book, I try to publish 3 back to back.
Oh wow.
This is because the Chance series is so popular, I just do one big novel for the Chance series. And then for the Holiday Romance, there's 2 books that are broken up for that series. And so that one is No I Do in My Future, and then I Do in My Future. So, oh gosh, the most recent one, as far as structure wise, I Do in My Future would be the most
recent one.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is that one about?
That one is about Nia and Rashad. Nia and Rashad are a new couple that I'm introducing in the holiday romance. And so the son is his mother passed away. And so it's kind of like therapeutic for me to talk about, to have a character that experiences, the emotions of their parent uh, passing away, because something that it's a process I'm going through.
Okay.
And so with the man, he is an architect, and he's looking to pursue business in Spain. And so Nia is actually in, and so he hooks up with Nia, and Nia is not a very nice person when he first meets her.
Uh-oh.
So they have like the hate love relationship, and then once they get everything going, then everything is perfectly fine. But Rashad is a young guy. He's the young, attractive male that knows what he wants, that's very decisive in life. And Nia is the female that kind of like she's a perfectionist type of female, and kind of wants to control everything. And she was initially, in the beginning of the book, she's in a relationship, but then that goes downhill because she finds out that he's with, she confirms he's with someone else, and who she finds out who's with is what is the big whammy.
Oh, wow.
Great. But it's a very creative way to connect African American characters with going overseas, because he's doing work with her in Spain, and he's originally in Colorado. And so I thought it was pretty cool to have a younger guy interact with an older female, and for the younger guy to encourage and change her mind.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Interesting. When you said that, the first thing that came to mind, I thought, was like Stella getting her groove back, or whatever. What's the name of that movie? How Stella got her groove back or something. Yeah. Where did you get the idea? Where did you get the inspiration? I know you said, a little bit of it was just from your experience, but where do you...
It was the character Rashad holds my emotions for mourning.
Okay.
But because with men, mourn totally different than females. So, to be honest, the story that you'll see more of my emotions is the beginning of the series, which is Perfect and Perfect Christmas. And so this was released this past Christmas. And the female in here, her name is Angelica. Angelica is Rashad's brother. And so you see more of how I actually feel about the process of mourning in that story, in comparison to with Rashad. He's a little bit more stronger.
Okay. And
so because he's stronger, he still has some of my emotions. You see them, but it's not as vivid as it is in the initial book of the series.
Okay.
So the reason how did I create this story? This idea came about when I was looking up the statistics about African American women and their perspective about being married. On social media, a lot of times you see where people are talking about, either they want to be married or they hate the idea about being married. I said, well, I want to look up some more and do a little bit more research about, well, what is it and what's triggering African American females to view marriage in a negative notion. So what I found a lot of things with the desperation of wanting to be married. So because of that, I said, okay, let's make Nia be the desperate one that wants that perfect life. And she's desperate to be married. She's desperate to already have a child. And you see that in this story where it's like, hey, I'm getting older and I still don't have a husband. I still,
yeah.
I mean, she acts like it's an expiration on her life, because when she categorizes her success, the fact that she lives in Spain and that she's making these boss moves while she lives in Spain. She's not saying that her success is complete because she doesn't have the marriage and children. And so, because of that, her perspective is a bit negative, and so when she views relationships, it's kind of blurred. And so she has the contrasting friend, which is actually from this story, Perfect and Perfect Christmas, because Nicholas and Angelica get together in this story. So Angelica is Nia's best friend, and so when they get together, and when she travels back, because Nia is actually, Nia lives, her home is in California. So she visits, when she visits California, she sees Angelica with her new boo.
Oh gosh.
And so she's like, okay, this is different. And so she's seeing a different model of a relationship, and she actually likes it. And so she's kind of hesitant because she doesn't want to tell her best friend that, I think I got a thing for your brother.
Oh no.
That happens to be younger than me.
Yeah, okay. Oh wow, I feel like we're talking about real people.
Okay. But you know what? When you get into my series, no matter if it's the holiday romance or the chance series, what I try my best to do for the reader is to feel like they know these people.
Okay.
And so with the holiday romance, the family saga is really big. And so you'll see different things about family going on. There's going to little children, and the children are going to say the darndest things, and you're like, oh my gosh, did that kid just say that? Yes, the child just said that. And so I don't have kids cursing people out, so that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But it's more of like, it's entertaining to see the child. The child is going to be there for a purpose. Now, they have intimate moments. There are no children. Trust me, all children are gone. When I'm making a certain point, like if I want to bring up how someone might feel because they're missing their grandmother that passed away, okay, the best person to advocate that is to have a little kid walk in the room and say something about their grandmother. What happens is during the holidays, a lot of people that you miss are those that have transitioned from this world. And so I think it's pretty cool to have that family atmosphere, but to show a positive direction of how to stick together and cope through the aspect of mourning. And everybody will mourn totally different. So see Rashad, you'll see him more of a strong person, even though he's the youngest of the children, but he's the guy, and he feels like, I have to carry this weight to be strong. So the energy between the couple, Nia and Rashad, they're very cute. They are absolutely the cutest, and I had so much fun drafting them together. And I was really happy to have her be from California. I have family members from California.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Nice. What part?
So it was really fun to California. I think the scene that I talk about in California is in Santa Monica.
Okay.
And I grabbed that one because it might have been 2017. I went to California, and I was with my family, and we went to a restaurant, and I enjoyed myself at the restaurant, and the piers across the way. And so I just said, let's let the crossing be there and just have fun from there.
Oh wow, okay.
Setting developed as far as how California went. But in the Chance series, I have the characters go to California as well, and that's in the second book of the Chance series. But I love to travel in the stories. It's a great way to help the reader to imagine and see different things, because sometimes we can't afford to travel. So the places that I visited, I like to showcase them in my stories to let people just imagine or either think about planning to go to those places for themselves. Because you can bring those experiences in your life, but sometimes you just need some coaxing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh wow, that's so good. So you said, what was I gonna say? So it seems like you give a lot of thought to your different books. Like, what do you have, like a set technique or process that you use to write books?
Hmm. I cannot say I really do. I
Okay.
spend more time developing my characters
Okay.
than anything. I have a series that I'm working on now that's The Professionals, and that one is the setting is in California as well for that one.
Mm.
And with that story, the reason why I brought it up is because with that story, I have no template whatsoever. I have not
Oh
an
wow.
outline. I just grab the characters and go. And I'm
Oh
like,
wow.
okay, whichever way we're going, that's where we're going to go today.
Yeah. Oh wow. See, that's good, and that's probably why you described them. Because I was like, dang, I feel kind of bad for gossiping about these people and their relationship and everything they got going on, and their kids. So that's probably that makes sense why and that's very good. And another thing that I want to commend you on is you're the second person. I think I've done over 13 different interviews, and nothing against those authors, maybe just because they don't have it, but your media kit, I was like, wow, this is so bomb. Like, okay, so that's a little bit of research that I did, was thanks to your media kit. I was like, okay, you really have it going on, and so I appreciate that. Just hearing about your different characters and your series and things like that, it's definitely enjoyable. And I think that, even because right now, those that are watching the author spotlight, it's mostly other writers, other self-publishers, and some readers. And so I think that's important for other writers and even readers to hear and to know, like, you know get into your characters, make them feel like real people, because if it's so far, they got, all this stuff going on, that people might not be able to relate. And so what was your, I guess that's my thought about, just why you want to develop your characters, but what's your thought about that?
I would commend people to definitely get into their characters, to take the time to get to know them. Because what you're doing is you're growing someone that you want to advocate a message to your readers.
Mm.
So because of that, you want to be able to think and decide, make decisions in your stories as if you were really that character. And
Mm-hmm.
so oftentimes, like it drives my husband insane when I start writing for the character Jasmine. And I say that because my house will smell like Jasmine.
Oh wow. So he knows what's going on.
He's like, oh gosh, she's with Drew and Jasmine now.
Oh goodness. That's funny.
So yeah, my house will smell like Jasmine. I have a
Mm.
bike that I make, and it's Jasmine. And so when I take a bath, I have Jasmine
Mm.
within my pampering time.
Oh wow.
And so when I write those stories, it's easy for me to talk about those different senses and utilize the things that I'm smelling, because I'm really smelling those things. I'm
Yeah.
really experiencing it. And if I have a favorite drink for a character, I make sure that I actually taste the drink,
Okay. Yeah.
describe it, and think about, okay, well, how would this person respond to this? And so with the characters, I think the biggest thing is just taking your time to get to know the person and thinking about it from the perspective, as far as with a writer, think about it from the perspective as if you're introducing this character
Mm-hmm.
to not just like a friend, but more so of like your parents. And so I'm saying your parents or your guardian, because sometimes when you introduce someone to your parents and your guardian, it's more so because you want to see how they really feel about this other person. You want their
Mm-hmm.
opinion. And so I think if you have that in mind, that, hey, I really want this person to come over in a positive manner, I think that will help you with the idea of building the character and creating them. And so I don't think anyone should ever be in a rush when they are creating a character,
Mm.
because you just want to truly get to know them. I mean, know little simple details. What's their
Mm-hmm.
favorite color? You know,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of car do they have? Do they like this car? Do they hate the car? Do they
Mm.
wish they had different seats in the car? Do they hate that they get in a car and it's hot and the leather is burning?
Yeah.
I mean, really, truly
Wow.
to know them.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know them, the more your readers will feel like, hey, I truly know this person, and in my mind, they live here in my mind, because I can imagine them,
Mm-hmm.
but also because the author did a great job with with conveying, who this character is and truly introducing this character,
Mm-hmm.
because you just want them to, you want your readers to get to know them, to fall in love with the character, because you never know if that character will be the reason that you end up writing that next story that just wins everybody over. And so I just say, take your time and find out who your head characters are,
Mm.
and love on them.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's so cool. So definitely listen, and I say this in every episode. If you don't have your pen and paper out right now, pause this and go get your pen and paper out and listen to this thing again, because you've dropped some free advice on how to come up with characters. Wow, my gosh. Okay. Okay, cuz I've been working on this book for maybe, it's been about a year, and
Okay.
it's lying doormat, but there are characters in there, and I'm even taking mental notes myself, like, okay, yeah, I got some work to do, and so I'm really excited. I'm so glad that we are speaking, because I'm like, okay, yeah, even little old Aurelia has some things that I need to work on. Okay,
You,
so then,
you know what I think is really cool with developing a character. Okay, if you can get an image,
mm-hmm,
so whether it's, some people draw so they can sketch it out, but if you
mm-hmm,
can't draw, go grab a picture online of someone.
mm-hmm,
So when I initially developed Drew from the Chance series, and Drew is, this is the third book in the Chance series. So
yeah.
Drew, which is Andrew, when I first developed this guy, the picture I had in my mind was Morris Chestnut.
Oh, okay. Oh wow, handsome.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I need a chocolate guy. I need
Yeah.
all this chocolate and chocolate and chocolate. That in my mind, every time I approached this character, he was the chocolate guy.
Mm.
So from there, I think that if you grab a visual as the author, it will help you with coming up with little detailed words. It'll help you imagine, the frame of the person as well. But also, when you finish the aspect of building that character, what you'll do is, when you read the story, you want your readers to kind of respond back to you. And when they respond back to you describing that character, if they end up telling you, okay, well, when I saw this character, I kind of thought of Morris Chestnut, then
Oh
you
wow.
know I did a great job with, describing this person, because that's what I was going for.
Okay. Have you gotten that?
Yes, I
Oh
have.
wow. Okay. Cool. Oh wow, that's so cool. Well then, what was one of your toughest challenges then in becoming an author or writing your books?
Okay, in becoming an author, I think it had more so to do, the challenge with becoming an author. It had more to do with getting through the depressive state that I was in.
Hmm.
I, Before publishing books, I was an investigative reporter at a newspaper,
Hmm.
and I was just loving my
Oh
life.
wow.
And I was doing exactly what I wanted to do, be a writer. I was
Mm-hmm.
traveling, and then I got pregnant with my daughter, and I was excited. I told the publisher I was pregnant, and the publisher gave me a letter that said that I was handicapped and could no longer continue my services.
Mm.
And I didn't understand why pregnancy was correlated to being handicapped. And so for the longest, I had to battle through rejection and
Mm.
rejection after rejection after rejection.
Mm.
So the more I had to, come to the odds of being rejected, it would just take me further and further and further into that state of being depressed.
Okay.
And so I had to refocus my lens and, come up with a new way to still write, but to be published.
Mm.
Because even because after the journalism aspect, I felt completely defeated. I
Mm.
did not. I was very young, but I had a very hard time with trying to, just get over the hurdle that, just go work at another publication. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because my mind frame was just, I was just too depressed, to be
Oh.
honest.
Yeah.
So I think that was the one of the most huge challenges for me
Mm.
with being a writer and getting to the point of being published again. But once I actually got over that hurdle, I was able to, refocus myself, just to kind of reinvent what it is that I wanted to do. And I'm like, well, I love writing, so I can still write, but let me just go, go at this goal a different way.
Okay.
Instead of waiting on the publisher to tell me my stories are good enough, why not just self-publish?
Oh wow. Yeah.
And so it was a huge risk because your mind weighs back and forth. Well, this is going to cost this much money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's like the biggest thing that will, put the brakes on because you keep facing the fact that it's going to cost so much money.
Yeah.
And at that time, I just kept writing and writing and writing. And so finally in 2017, I got from the moment of publishing just for myself, because all of my inspirational books, I was publishing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time I got to 2017, that's when I took it upon myself to say, okay, let's draft a novel. And I
Mm.
decided to do that because my husband and I had a radio show, and people would call all the time complaining about their marriages. And
Mm.
when they complained about their marriages, everything that was consistent was the lack of being intimate with each
Mm.
other. And so from there, I decided, okay, let me do this novel talking about relationships and how people can help their relationships. And then after the 2017 and 2018, my mom died.
Mm.
So that was another challenge. But so right now, my biggest challenge today is to keep up with my mom.